All right, hey, welcome back to Working Class Customs YouTube channel, and welcome back once again to Stable B. As always, this is our favorite place. I appreciate you guys being here. So today we're here with our Rabaconda, and I should probably grab this green handle so that it looks a little more recognizable, because that's, you know, their color and the ad and everything else and blah, 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 blah. So there's your little green handle for you so that you know that it's a Rabaconda. But first off, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for being here. If it's your first time here, please click the subscribe button down below. Throw a like on the video while you're there. And then right up here, we will have a link to last year's video, which is what this is gonna be all about. So I'd say almost a year ago now, I bought this Rabaconda tire changing tool. I'd seen ads for it. It looked pretty cool. I was using tire irons on the ground, wrestling tires to change my own tires, so I decided it was time to up my game a little bit, and this is what I decided to get. With that, when I bought it, I hadn't used it yet, and I decided to show the internet and the world what it actually looks like to take this tool and only use their instruction booklet, which is a pretty good booklet, to be honest, but only use their instruction booklet and change the tire, and what that actually looks like. So it wasn't the smoothest thing in the world. I still think it was pretty great. Definitely helped me out. Save some time and whatnot, but as you move along, and thanks to the tips that you guys gave me, which one of those is going to be having some boots instead of wearing flip-flops, so we're wearing boots today. I definitely still wear flip-flops most of the time, but for the sake of this video, we're wearing boots. And then other tips that I'll show you throughout here kind of help this process go even smoother and even quicker, and I've come to learn to love the Rabaconda tire changer. Definitely saved me some time. So today we're going to go through a quick little hey, here's the tips you guys gave me in that video in the comments. If you guys see anything else that I may or may not be doing correct, please let me know. We'll hash that out afterward, but hopefully this shows you a little bit of after some use, what the Rabaconda can look like. Okay, so first off, as you can see, oh, you know what? I gotta clear something up. I'm not wearing the shirt right now, but I did already change the rear tire on this bike. So today we're changing tires on the 2015 ZX6R. We've had on the channel for a couple videos now. Really only one, I guess. My buddy wanted the new tires on there, so we're putting on some Dunlop Q5S's. Those are gonna be some great sticky rubber for track days and whatnot, and give them a little bit more wear time than just the Q5. I already changed the rear. I showed you guys all of that, or I was gonna show you guys all of that. And then this mic right here, this one right here, hopefully that's recording now too, didn't work out. Didn't take any sound cut. So I say all that to say that due to some technology, we're gonna show a quick time lapse of what it looked like to change the rear, then we'll go through changing the front. But as you can see down here on the front, I do have a tire warmer on here right now. I'm warming this tire up. So this is our old tire that's gonna come off, and I will say that if you have tire warmers and you're taking tires off, you ain't gonna use them anymore, so heat cycles don't matter. It's a very quick and easy way to get your tires nice and warm, nice and malleable, and make the tire change that much quicker and easier. I will say this machine still does fine without, but everyone knows if you stick a tire in the sun or do something to warm it up before you change it, it's gonna change that much easier because it's just that much more stretchy and malleable is the right word. And then also with that, I want to mention this little guy real quick. So this is a tool that I found on Amazon. It's about $11. I have a link for it down in the description. It's a motorcycle front axle changer tool. So it's got a 17, 22, 24, 19, and then I think it adds a 14 and a 12 millimeter socket. You can stick it on either end. Most of your front axles are gonna be hollow, so it goes through there just fine, even though it's a little long. When I went to go change this, I didn't have the right size because I've only got the size for my Suzuki. And so I had to run to the hardware store / parts store. I looked at 6 different stores that night, couldn't find anything. Looked one up on Amazon, and that came up, and I was like, that's perfect because that'll cover a bunch of different sizes, hopefully whatever size I ever need. So definitely recommend that tool if you're looking at changing multiple bikes' front tires. That tool will come in real handy. Just want to point that out to you guys. But without further ado, we'll go ahead and pull this tire warmer off of here and then get into this video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that time lapse. As I said, that was the rear. It did go very smoothly and it went great, and I was talking about all the tips that you guys gave me, and everything was perfect, and then went and plugged the footage into the computer, and it was like, no, you don't have any audio. So that was more than a little bit awkward. Kind of need audio to give a video to an audience. Those words aren't necessarily related, but they are somewhat. So I digress. All right, first step we're gonna have here, get my bead grease kind of out of the way. We're gonna go ahead and pull the valve out, which will allow that air inside to be able to move in, out, whatever. It's gonna be kind of loud for half a second, but we get that valve out of there and then you don't have any air in the way while you're working on your tire. Sweet, valve is out, all the air is expelled. I'm not gonna do a setup video of how to set this tool up. It's pretty self-explanatory. There also is the instruction booklet that comes with it. And there is also the tutorial video from Rabaconda themselves. I definitely recommend checking that out. If you haven't, it'll help you out a lot. It's got like everything that I'm gonna say today kind of in that video. So if you haven't checked that out and you have this tool, that's kind of maybe a mistake, but like I said in my last video, which you should go reference, go watch it, check it out. If you haven't bought one of these yet, if you already have one, then go use it, enjoy it, or pick up the tips I'm gonna mention today. But that video just kind of showed you before you go buy it, this is what it's gonna look like if you don't have a tutorial video, if you just go for it. But today, it's gonna look like if you do watch the tutorial and you do have the instructions and you do have everyone else's advice and tips and tricks and everything else. Set up, pretty sweet. My biggest thing that I love about this tool is how portable it is. You guys will see at the end, tear it all down and put it in this nice little bag. You put your wheel on, there's these little magnetic bars in the back. You wanna make sure those are under your rim. That's gonna give you a good space to press against. And the first thing we're gonna do is break the bead on this tire. So this is the only part that I'm still kinda not super happy about. Definitely takes some labor, some effort, but it's also not too bad. I've come to find that you just kinda go for it and eventually that bead will pop off. The closer you can get to your rim, the better. So there's an adjustment on the back here that lets you kind of go up and down a little bit. So we'll try and get nice and close to that rim there. And there we go. One of the tips that I did get, which I haven't had to use yet, is once I learned that you can just kind of put a little bit more force in it and it works, was to stick a little bit of WD-40 or just lube in general between the bead. So if you're sitting here trying to pop your bead and it doesn't want to like pop, you can stick some WD-40 in there and that'll make it so that the part that you've already kind of expanded out doesn't just seep right back up against the edge. Kind of gives it a little bit of lubrication. Like I said, I haven't had to do that, but that was one of the comments I got on the last video and I can see how that would be very helpful. I've just kind of come to find that you put a lot of force in it, it's gonna work out for you. So you obviously don't want to overdo it per se. Give her enough good force, that bead will break for you, and then you'll be on to the next step. And some rims are not all created, not all rims are created equal. I guess is the best way to put that. I think that's how the saying goes. Some of them have a big old lip in here. That's not the most fun when you're doing stuff like this. That's just kind of how it goes sometimes. So next, we're gonna take our duck head and stick this over this rod. And while I'm doing that, I will mention the only other issue I've had with this machine, I had a Yamaha FC6R that I was changing tires on, and this rod was too thick for those rims. So I know Rabaconda is slowly putting videos and videos out of like, will it change this? Will it change that? And all whatever. That's great. It didn't change that, except it did. Took the axle rod out of the bike itself, stuck it in the Rabaconda, was still able to make a change and use this. So that is an option. I don't know if that's recommended or not. I did it, it was fine. All right, so we got our duck head on. Install that right on the rim, put it on there, tighten it up nice and good. And I'm not going through every tip. Like I said, I definitely recommend you watch the tutorial. This is just kind of my saving grace of, hey, I've done half a dozen or more tire changes with this tool now. Definitely find it useful. Want to give you guys kind of a quick, like, this is how fast it can go. And hopefully that time lapse you guys watched helped prove that a little bit. But you're gonna get the duck head on there, put it about the 12 o'clock position, and then grab your tire iron, get your tire. Like I said, not all rims are created equal. So some of them like to be a pain. Up and over the duck head, just like that. And then you just have a nice little spot there for that. And then you have your rim stopper or your wheel stopper, whatever you want to call it. So put that on that side because we'll be coming this way with this. In my last video, I used a strap and that wheel stopper. If you're using the wheel stop, you don't need the strap. The strap is for spoked wheels. So if you're using this stop, it's gonna stop it. You don't even need the strap. Don't worry about it. Good to go. Now, to apply some lube. So you can buy this bead grease from Rabaconda themselves. You can also probably buy it in many other places. I did go ahead and get Rabaconda's bead grease specifically with their sweet bead grease brush. You don't need that much. That's a lot. Last time, I just used soap and water. They say soap and water works perfectly fine, but I believe they said they recommend the bead grease for the removal and soap and water for installation. So I've been doing that since then. A little bit of this bead grease. It's definitely helped out a lot. Definitely made a difference, I guess I would say. So apply some of that. I usually also like to stick a little bit literally right on the edge of the duck head and kind of up inside. that's gonna lube that rim up also, which will help that duck head move on the rim. So once you get that all lubed up, let's put ourselves just a little bit more over in this area. That's lubed up, good to go. I'm gonna take your bead breaker bar, stick it in the duck head, and you're gonna start rotating. And where I was before, in my last video, I was standing over on that side. You guys helped me out with that. You gave me a comment of, hey, stand behind it and go from like the 12 o'clock to the 9 o'clock position. So you're literally just sitting here doing this. That's ratcheting. I think you said 12 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Whatever the tip was, I found that the 10 or 11 to 8 to 9 is perfect, right? Because it gives you that ability to do this, and your other hand's gonna go over here and help stabilize this machine. So you're gonna start rotating around. And for me, being a smaller guy, especially when you're first starting out here, I put my hip into it there a little bit, but you can also still keep that machine on the ground. That tire iron's almost always gonna fall out. So you just wanna keep an eye on that. And then you just kinda start rotating this guy around. Nice and easy like. Now bring her all the way back around to that upright 12 o'clock position. And then since we put that bead grease on the duck head itself, should be pretty good there. I'm gonna stick the tire iron in underneath, grab the back end of the tire, bring that up and over, put the tire iron in the same spot, start your rotation again. Once again, that tire iron will 100% fall out of there. You can just kind of hold it until the tire gets far enough off, and then keep rotating around, and you have yourself a tire. So, we'll go grab the new one. All right, got our new tire here. Got some soapy water mixture. Once again, you can definitely use the bead grease for the way back on. It will work, but I like the soapy water because it, you know, cleans everything real good, whatever. Anyway, this next part is pretty important. Please listen to this part on your tire. I don't know if you can see it, but there's an arrow, direction of rotation. So you look at your bike. If your bike has ABS, that'll help a lot. If not, the rim should have a direction of rotation somewhere on it. This bike happens to have ABS. The ABS goes on the left side, so that means this tire is gonna, or this wheel is gonna rotate what'll be counterclockwise for you guys. So right now my arrow is pointing clockwise, so I wanna go ahead and flip that around. And now I've got it pointing, there it is, counterclockwise. Then I'm gonna bring my duck head all the way back up to that 12 o'clock position. And then I'm gonna give this a good spray down. Some good soapy water, wipe it all around there. Double check my rotation arrow. It's gonna go that way. It's gonna go in there. It's gonna go forward, yep. Then you're gonna stick this on here. You're gonna put the tire over the back half of the duck head and attempt to get as much of the tire on the rim as possible. Sometimes, depending on your size, your experience, the tire temperature, and all of those things, it is possible to just get the whole tire on there. For me, half the time, it's not, but conveniently, that's why we have the tool. So once you have it on at least most of the way, you go back and start your rotation again, and that's gonna pop that back bead all the way on there. Then we can bring this duck head all the way back up and around. We can get that other side up and over. I usually just use the tire iron for that. And after you do that, it can help, once again, put a little bit of that tire over the rim just by hand. That's gonna kind of help it from popping out. Gives ourselves a little bit more lube, just a little bit this time on the inside of that bead that still needs to go over. And then what I'm gonna go ahead and do is throw one of these drop centers in, just right over on this side. So that was another thing I was missing last time, the drop center. Those are important. So the drop center right here, your rim isn't shaped flat. It's kind of shaped, it's got a dip in the middle. So when you put your bead in the middle, it's less diameter. So it gives that tire more room to flex around the outside of the rim. So those drop centers are just gonna help keep the bead in that center of the rim and give you more room to make that final stretch all the way around. You go ahead and start your rotation. I'd say once you get about 180 degrees off from your other drop center, grab your second one. You can also use your, I think they say knees or whatever. And I always try and stick this as close to my duck head as possible. And once again, that's just gonna get that rim or that tire forced down in the center of the rim there. And then you can work your way around until you get the bead all the way on. After that, pull your drop centers out. These do come from Rabaconda. They're nice and simple, easy. They're made of plastic, so they won't scratch your rims up. And you can pull this duck head off of here. All right, there we go. Pull the duck head off of there, and then you're good to go. And you have a tire on a rim. Due to the time of night, I won't be setting this bead tonight, but the last step would be going over to the air compressor, getting that bead to pop on, and then putting your valve back in, setting tire pressure and putting them back on the bike and being done. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Like I said, I've had the Rabaconda about a year. I've done half a dozen or more tire changes with it. It's definitely saved me time. In the time lapse that you saw from me doing the rear, I was real sweaty. Your hands will still get dirty. It's not an electronic machine. It's not gonna do all the work for you, but it definitely takes the knees on the ground, wrestling the crap out of a tire with tire irons. It takes all that kind of extremely hard work out of it, and I'd say some of the guesswork too, maybe. I don't know, there might be more guessing with the machine, but I definitely think the machine's worth the money. After the last video, I did reach out and try to get a discount code for you. Fortunately, there's no discount code on my channel. I'm sure someone else has one somewhere. If not, beg Rabaconda. I don't know. Let them know that you deserve a discount code from me for you. Anyway, if you watch that video paired with this video, you'll see kind of what I've never done this before to I've done this a few times. This machine is actually worth the money, what that kind of looks like. So that was the goal of tonight. Once again, I'll pack it up here in a second. You'll be able to watch it, kind of what it looks like getting packed up in this nice carry bag. It's definitely portable, can go with you anywhere. I've used it at the racetrack. I've used it here at home. I've used it multiple different places. Super nice and easy. If you warm your tires up first, that'll help. You're gonna need some other tools to get your tires off or your wheels off the bike, valve stem removal tool, things like that. So keep that in mind. This isn't like a end all be all. You also probably want an air compressor, and then you should balance your tires afterward. And I'll be putting out we have a balancing video. So go check that out, and then be on the lookout for how to balance your bike tire or motorcycle tire on the bike video. So I'll be putting one of those out here soon. So without further ado, that's gonna finish up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments, or you can go follow me at JK Moto Podcast on Instagram. Send me a DM. I will answer any questions. But that's the Rabaconda. Like I said, I can't really say enough good about this tool. It is on the expensive side, but it's definitely saved me some time, and it should theoretically save you money if you're willing to use it. If you're gonna go to the racetrack and you're gonna be too tired, this isn't gonna really like I said, it still takes manual work. So if you're gonna just run your tires down at the tire vendor anyway, might not be fully worth it. But if you're changing a lot of tires on your own all the time and you're willing to pull this thing out of the racetrack, which like I said, it's super portable, it tears down super easy and super nice, 100% worth the money. I would recommend getting it. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Go check out the shirts down below on the merch shelf. We got a few shirts, go pick one up. The more you guys support me, the more I can support you, the more we can grow this community. Please read the comments also, because the comments, there's a lot of veterans, track day veterans and mechanics and people that have a lot more experience than I do down in those comments, leaving you guys nice tips and whatnot. I will leave it at that. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next week.